What's going on YouTube? It is your boy Danny back with another video, and if you haven't seen this video here, go check it out because it is literally kind of tying back into this video. Or if you're just starting looking at this video, thank you. I appreciate you taking your time out of your precious day just to come listen to my beautiful voice. As you can see in the title, I don't want to sit here and kind of give you a dried out intro. Let's step right into it. Working as a freelancer, there's many different pros and cons of things. Just to list out a couple things that as a freelancer you run into. Some of those things are managing your own time, picking and choosing what clients you want to work with, budgeting out your projects, and many other things that you have to do as a freelancer on your own. When you're working under an agency, depending on what your role is, you have people that are specifically in that role. Different agencies run differently, but this is how my experience was, so I'm gonna just give you all how my experience was. So you have many different things in the job role. You may have a bigger team, you may have a smaller team. So depending on what size of the team, depending on the roles, you may have 2 editors, you may have 1 producer. Whoever edits may be the DP on some shoots, you know. So it's different roles if you have a smaller team that you may run into or may be placed into. With freelancing, you're all that. You literally wear the hat in everything. So that's kind of how, you know, I love dogs when the UPS guy comes about. Thank you, Huey. I just want to give you all a couple key takeaways when you are working in the agency world compared to the freelancer world. Sometimes you may work with different diverse clients and projects. And what I mean by that is that you may be working with someone who does things in the community. You may be working with someone who does corporate work. You may be working in this place where they may have government officials, or, you know, it's a line of work. You know, with agencies, sometimes they just pick and pick and pick and pick and pick because, you know, they have people they have to pay. So sometimes if it's meaningful, if it makes them money, they will definitely do it. With that comes with just so many diverse teams and projects that you are going about. Sometimes if you don't want to work in those diverse circles, that's where freelancing come in, where you can pick and choose what clients you want to work with. What stories you want to tell, how do you want your edits to go, you know. So that's usually the difference between the two. One other thing is the importance of flexibility. I think one thing for me is that when they call and it was go out of town for a shoot, or an edit needed to be done, or something like this, regardless of what I had going, I had to just drop it and do it, you know. And in agency worlds, you have to be flexible. The flexibility is crazy. You don't know if you want to be working on this on Monday evening, you working on something else, you know, or, you know, you just have to be flexible with your time, or flexible, because a lot of times, where in my sense I was hybrid, so a lot of times you still have to kind of manage your time yourself. Another thing that I think it works in both agencies and freelancing is understand the client expectation and communication. And I can say this is some flaws that I have when working in the agency, is that sometimes when clients sometimes don't give you everything that they want, sometimes you got to pull it out of them, and sometimes you got to pull out, and sometimes clients just don't give you everything you have to. So sometimes you have to literally actively listen when you're doing projects or so with clients, because they expect you to listen. And also too, when they give you information of certain things, they don't want to continue to get, you know, rough cuts or whatever with the same issue in it. And those are things you may run into. You know, those are fixable things, but sometimes in agencies that can be a huge loss when dealing with certain clients. So understand the expectation and communication. And the last thing, how this tragic as far as getting fired from the agency helped me with my freelancing career. As you all know, as I just mentioned, that it was a hybrid position. So a lot of times I was literally in my office video editing. You're on your own when it's hybrid. So you got to make sure that you dedicate your time, or dedicate certain times for things. You got to eat lunch when you need to. You have to set your schedule up when you want to. So there's a lot of things that when I was hybrid, that's what I did. So that shaped me for my freelance, because literally I'm shifting to literally what I was already doing. It's just that now that I'm the head honcho of it and I have to dedicate my time to certain things, that's where working in agency helped me. How to talk to clients, how to get feedback, how to take feedback, how to hire people, how to do this. So it's like the agency, like I said, it was such unfortunate how it had to end. But the goal is whenever you get a job, you want to take some key pieces of our learning tips from each job and apply those to literally every single new job you get. That's just how agencies work, man. And I don't know, that's just how the agency I work. I'm not for sure how other agencies work, but sometimes they all work the same. So before going into the agency life, remember to, tell yourself these things. Do I want to grow? Are you able to take feedback? Are you able to be dealing with certain or new projects often? And are you willing to work with such a diverse team? And also another tip too is that I am an African American male working in an industry where some may say that it's predominantly white, but unless you are working for a particular black-owned agencies, there are a lot of white spaces in agencies, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to be racist or anything like here, but as a black man in those spaces, it made me feel uncomfortable at times. So sometimes not being relatable, not being able to communicate certain things, are really the kind of biggest is being relatable. That can be challenging for me. Also too, I felt like I was just the needle in the haystack. I'm just there and, I'm just doing my job, but also to hinder, how I felt mentally. And if you're African American and you're going into agencies, just think about those things. If you want to be more into black spaces or things like that, then find an agency that's black owned, but these are things that you're going to run into, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable when you're in those roles. So that's all I got. That's my life out in agency. Unfortunately, I had to come to a close that way, but new beginnings. We're going to go full-time freelancing, and we're just going to work the deal, man. Other than that, man, let me know if there's some questions that you think I missed or you want, answer about the agency life. Put it in the comment section down below. Let's get 10 likes on this, y'all. Other than that, man, I love y'all. Appreciate